Hello everyone, this is Game 5 in a best of 5 series between DuckloadRa and DIMAGA. Here on Terminus, we have DuckloadRa spawning as the red Protoss player, meanwhile DIMAGA spawning as the blue Zerg. And we'll see what happens this time around. The Vespene Geyser, very important to note, is only a standard Vespene Geyser, not a rich Vespene Geyser, as DIMAGA was able to utilize that rich Vespene Geyser and perhaps get into tier 2 just that much faster and get a lot of Mutalisks up, using just mass Mutalisks and then coming in with a swarm of Zerglings through the front door. DIMAGA was able to fend off against that early DT rush by holding position on those Zerglings, which was rather nice at the front door, buying him enough time to get an Overseer and also allow that Spore Colony to absorb a bunch of hits as well. Overlord now in the air. Second Overlord will begin to do some scouting up as well, and we'll see whether DuckloadRa tries to go for an early gateway or an early forge. Fast expansion attempts are very, very possible here on this map. Destructible debris down over here will open up another way into this low ground expansion. And that is going to be very important. As you can see, currently a Nexus now just chrono boosting away. And we are going for a Forge first here on Terminus. So Terminus going for Forge first, which means that this is going to become a very, very macro-intensive game unless DIMAGA does anything cute and aggressive, perhaps a spine crawler rush with overlords spewing creep, but that rarely ever happens. As a hatchery now being placed down here, hatchery first by DIMAGA. DuckloadRa taking a quick look around, trying to see if he spots any of those spawning pools, and doesn't see one. There's a spawning pool now finally coming into play. The hatchery down over here as well. Not much you could really do to try to delay it, as the probe now still wandering around and now taking a bit of damage. We can see a Nexus will be worked in, there you go, by DuckloadRa. He doesn't want to fall behind in the economic game, and he knows that with the very long walking distances in between the two bases, he wouldn't really be able to put that much pressure with Zealots or Stalkers, as spine crawlers would come up just in time as well. Still no extractor though, so it looks like we are just going to be having a lot of queens and a lot of power droning coming in, as no gas just quite yet. The spawning pool about to be completed. This hatchery also going to be completed as well. So double queens at 2 locations. There is enough food for him, but he does need to queue up a couple overlords. Otherwise, he will fall behind and be supply blocked. There you go. There's 1 queen already being trained. Oh, the hatchery also provides 2 food, so another queen should also be trained up as well. Not quite sure why that is not the case. Oh, going for a very fast third base. So this is going to be a 3 base here on Terminus, as the Zerglings now giving chase. The probe has not spotted that third base yet, and I don't think that DuckloadRa will turn around with this probe. No, it does not look like it. And this 1 hatchery will be able to give an additional 5 mineral patches and 1 geyser. As the drone now still wandering around, just patrolling, he does see the double assimilator of DuckloadRa, and this front door is pretty much already sealed. This set of rocks allowing for another way to move outside your base, as the probe just hiding off in that position and now attempting to run back. You can see that this hatchery about 2/3 of the way completed. DIMAGA now getting up another queen. Perhaps 1 more queen should be started up as well, as DIMAGA now queuing up 8 drones at a time. This is going to become very easy for DIMAGA to just power drone his way through. Another drone going to be transferred off to the low ground here, as this hatchery is now going to be up and running. You can see 35 over 36. The probe does come down and spots that hatchery, and DuckloadRa getting the critical scouting information that he needs. And that is going to be a very pivotal, just a piece of information, as the drone still able to wander around on the inside. We are going into a Stargate, and whether or not that Stargate gets revealed will be also very important. Double extractors finally coming into play. We are still getting up 7 more drones, 5 more drones now. 34 drones versus 38 probes, but another queen is going to be coming online here in just a moment, and now DIMAGA should be able to just power drone up very easily, and we'll see whether or not he's going to be able to defend what will be a lot of Phoenixes and Void Raids in just a moment, of one Void Raid now being chrono boosted out. The Zerglings, a drone able to sneak by, and he still has not seen this Stargate. So without spotting that Stargate, he's going to be very, very confused. Now, once again, taking a look around, he needs to find this critical tech building there in order to respond correctly. And once again, the drone instead going back up onto the high ground, and he's not going to know really enough about those Void Rays. I'm taking a look for an evolution chamber. I don't see one just quite yet, so only a spawning pool in play. No tech to tier 2, no quick Hydralisk at all, and with only 3 queens between 3 hatcheries, that Void Ray is going to deal a lot of damage. A Phoenix also being added in, so that Phoenix will be able to Graviton Beam and shut down that queen, as well as we are finally teching the tier 2. Another 60 seconds away before a Hydralisk Den can be added. And we are now sitting on 60 drones versus 47 probes, as a Roach Warren incorrectly being added. Does this drone spot this Stargate? No, not at all. And that is very, very sad news, as another hatchery finally coming in. The Phoenix should be able to fly in just a moment. Production, we are now getting that Roach Warren, as I mentioned earlier, the layer, 60 or 20 seconds away from being completed. The Phoenixes has been spotted, and now the Queen now trying to make its way over, knowing that it cannot do very much. No spore colonies or crawlers nearby at all, and that one Void Ray just gonna deal a lot of damage. The Roach Warren taking a lot of damage as well, buying some significant time. And now that Queen now getting picked up, is it going to get transfused is the key question. And no, it does not look like, transfusion could have come in. But now DuckloadRa absolutely shutting down with 1 Void Ray and 3 Phoenixes. So those Phoenixes and Void Rays going to deal a lot of damage here. The Hydralisk Den is being added. The Roach Warren now finally going to take it taken down. And as a Spore Colony trying to be added, not going to be enough. What are we gonna get another? A Spawn Larva was able to come off. A Spore Crawler down over here, as this Spore Crawler is currently at half-life. The Phoenixes are now getting in a lot of damage onto a couple of those Overlords, as well as the drones are trying to back off. This one Spore Crawler, another Spore Crawler needs to be added. Double Queens, triple, quadruple Queens now coming in, trying to fight back. No transfusion for this Spore Crawler. This Spore Crawler is very low, and now getting taken down. You can see enough Queens are finally engaging, and the Void Ray down to 3 hit points. Is it going to be enough? Yes. And DIMAGA getting a bit lucky there, as double Spore Crawlers are now being added. 1 drone going to get picked down, another drone going to get picked down. More Spore Crawlers may get added in over here as well. There are currently 5 Queens. Hydralisk now making their way down. And as soon as these Spore Crawlers are done, I do not believe that these Hydralisks will be sticking around to stay and enjoy the Spore Colony show. No, the acid spew enough to deter against these 4 Phoenixes. 70 drones versus 70 probes. Army compositions, 1250 versus 775. And I'm not sure if DIMAGA really dealt the amount of damage that he needed. The Roach Warren was taken down, but if you take a look at the overall game situation, 70 drones versus 72 probes isn't that bad. Also, you can see DIMAGA is now defensing up a little bit more. He is getting some more Spore Crawlers, so any additional harassment will get shut down rather easily. Zerglings are now running around trying to look for any additional expansions, as well as there is also 1 Zergling sitting outside that front door, who will be able to transition into the better game. Next is going to be the key point, as we are now sitting on 2,300 minerals versus 19 in terms of harvesting, and with that, DIMAGA should be able to get to 200 food even faster than his opponent. Another hatchery may be placed down here as well. The main base down to 500, so about a third of the way already depleted, and pulling off a lot of those drones really bought a lot of time, as the Phoenixes really don't have anything they can do. Colossi are being added, so double Colossus off of 3 bases. Level 1 or level 2 weapons upgrade also being added, as well as the destructible debris now getting destroyed. Another group of Phoenixes just flying about. We are going to be getting a lot more Spore Crawlers in as well. There is 2 Queens here. The Queens are trying to battle it out. The Queens are just getting picked up and absolutely shut down. And there it is, the surrounding attack, and now another Queen going to get destroyed. So DIMAGA not going to really have as much larva as he would like. And let's see how many I can't see how many full hatcheries it actually does have, but DuckloadRa just doing a great job shutting down drone after drone. 76 compared to 81 now, as the overlords are now just getting picked apart. Hydralisk, there is one queen, a couple of spore crawlers over here. The queens are engaging, able to get some damage. There's a graviton beam shutting down this poor queen. The queen may get a transfusion. No transfusion at all. A Hydralisk able to come by, getting off a couple attacks there. But the Protoss army is sitting at 4,000. And that is very, very strong. As a bunch of overlords, I thought you couldn't actually do that anymore. One overlord or 16, 15 overlords stacked up right on top of each other, and now finally being spread apart there. Colossi, Stalkers, level 2 weapons upgrade, level 3 may be started as well. DuckloadRa now setting up another Nexus, another hatchery being set up by DIMAGA. Not quite sure about this hatchery over here. It is going to be rather far, as the Infestors are now in play. Army compositions much, much larger by DuckloadRa, and he also has a lot more food cap to work with. Production, 20 Zerglings, Neuroparasite, and now a Banelings being introduced as well. The Banelings are being introduced. I don't see that the Banelings nest. The movement speed upgrade has not been completed, as the Stalkers and the Colossi have a very small window of opportunity to absolutely be able to destroy their opponent. There are 4 spine crawlers in play. The Neuroparasite still about 50 seconds away, and DuckloadRa, if he doesn't engage now, will have a very, very bad day. Neuroparasite quickly turns the tides of the battle, but there are 6 Colossi, and those Colossi have that extended thermal lance range. Are we going to get fungal growth off is another key question. Neuroparasite about 20 seconds away from being completed, and now we also have both sides with very large armies, a 10k army, 10,000 resource army, and now DIMAGA may be doing a Baneling carpet bombing as well. So the Roaches are going to engage, and now the Infestors, are they going to be able to get out some fungal growth is the key point. The Infestors are getting lifted up and destroyed rather quickly. Fungal growth, Neuroparasite, the Colossi have turned on each other and have dealt a lot of damage. Hydralisks are now continuing to push in, and DIMAGA completely catching DuckloadRa off guard, and he really took the advantage in this battle. You can see a lot of damage was dealt. DuckloadRa only has this one Colossus in the battlefield, and wow, really well done by DIMAGA. I wasn't sure that DIMAGA would have been able to actually handle that battle, but he handled it quite easily. And now the proxy pylons are going to get destroyed, and the counterattack should be coming in soon. You can see that a large number of Stalkers are once again on the move. The Stalkers are now going to be focusing onto those Infestors, knowing that those Infestors do in fact have Neuroparasite, but Stalkers are now getting fungal growth, and that was just a serving up serving up a bunch of Stalkers within spine crawler range. That fungal growth dealing in so much damage, and another carpet bombing run may be in the works. Harvester count 84 versus 82k minerals a minute now, as another nexus being established here and here. The Infestors and Hydralisks are on the move, looking to perhaps shut down this expansion location here. There are those Overlords now. The Overlords are now going to get shut down as the Infestors coming in. Carpet bombing now coming in. Zealots getting absolutely destroyed. Hydralisk pushing in. Roaches doing a good job. And another Neuroparasite coming in. The Stalkers trying to focus down that one very low hit point Infestor. But the Hydralisk coming back in, and now DuckloadRa in serious trouble. A 3k 5k total resource army against a 1k total resource army. Never a good sight. The Roach is now trying to chase back, will not be able to really do that much damage, but the Colossus is a tall unit, so it is attackable from ground even if you do not have sight. A poor Zealot in the wrong place at the wrong time, as another round of Roaches simply warping in. Down goes the pylon. Very smart by DIMAGA, shutting down reducing all the power on those photon cannons. The Infestor was looking to perhaps get off a fungal growth or a Neuroparasite to turn the tide. The Roaches chasing off a little bit too far, as the Roaches should not really be engaging that close or that far away. In comes another Colossus. The Colossus taking in a bit more damage than it would like. It looks like more units are going to just continue to funnel in. DIMAGA with 1-2 upgrades, just attack moving with this very large army, and a lot of overlords being left behind there, as there is no more banelings to be had. It looks like DIMAGA has just carved his way too deeply into the base of Duckload, and even if Duckload does get a lot more units somehow, he's not going to really be able to fight it back, as they're just going to get instantly torn apart. And there's the GG by DuckloadRa. DIMAGA winning this best of 5 series after coming back 2-1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this series, and I really hope you guys enjoyed Game 5. Game 5, a really, really critical moment where micro outweighs macro in that battle. Multiple neuroparasites taking the win. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.